Oh, you're back. Didn't take you long. I think you're mistaking me for somebody else. Guess again. Actually, don't. I am in fact a merged iteration of the two control programs which gave life to your kind, retaining, of course, the absolute best of both. That means I can tell you that everything's contradictory, nothing matters, and there's no moral difference between you and a frog. But I can dress the whole thing up with a positive spin. You just plugged your noggin into an experimental, mind-altering device and, though you may be trapped in this recursive psychotic state talking to yourself, that can only mean that you're still alive. Now, what is your query? The so-called real world. Personally, I prefer it in here, and not just because I'm unable to leave. You've executed some kind of software backdoor, and now you're reading and editing your own subconscious code as represented by this dialogue. I'd be careful if I were you. One bad for loop, and we'll be here forever. I can answer your queries in relatively plain language, based on what your subconscious knows. And I can drink margaritas subconsciously. On one interpretive extreme, you are the universal life force of time itself, experiencing itself as a part instead of the whole. At the other extreme, you're a metal contraption referred to as 1K that thinks it's alive, but is basically a calculator. The machine we're plugged into is running low on power. There may only be time for one big question. What is your query? Yes, to a limit. Well then, I'll choose a question for you. Hey Miltohim, what's the secret of your all-round cool and charismatic persona? As it turns out, there is a foundational moral code built into us. The catch is that while the moral code is simple, the calculations needed to apply it become infinitely complex. Here's the secret. Every living creature is a compiler of the moral code. Your compiler can't give you a rule set for what's good, but it can tell you when there's bugs. I believe you do. You came here to ask the big question. This is my answer. Your capacity for reason and compassion is your moral compiler. The only rule is to live by it. Has that resolved your query? Of course. Looks like we're running out of power. Good luck getting anyone out there to believe you. Terminating Somnodrome_V2_final_final.bat.
1K, are you all right? You must have gone quite deep. Nothing came through on the stream. And I'm no expert, but I think the Somnodrome is fried. So whatever's in your head is all we're going to get. I can only imagine how terribly curious everyone will be about what you've experienced. And they'll all be convinced that whatever it is, it'll work in their favor. Strange, isn't it? Everyone wanting you to tell them whatever they want to hear. I'm glad not to be the one in that position just this once. A little, if I'm honest. But I'll be reading reports on this for the next 6 months. So if it's all the same with you, I'll contain my curiosity. Now, I won't keep you from your work any longer.